Philadelphia Eagles traveling to MetLife Stadium in New York to take on the New York Giants on Thursday Night Football in Week 6 of the NFL. We got your best bets video for this game. We're going to have 2 player props and a total pick that I think are great value bets for this game, as well as a same game parlay. Let's lock in and get a sweep here on Thursday Night Football.
Well, my presence isn't real. It's another bad one like this is scale. It's straight fire. All my bets straight from. You're in the house that Cap made now. Straight fire.
My name is Steve, and as always, if you guys are new to the channel, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button for me. Always appreciate that. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers. Guys, you ready for this Eagles-Giants game? I am. I'm always excited for NFL football, but I'm actually excited for this game. Barkley's returning back to MetLife. Jaxson Dart's making another start. So it should be a lot of fun. A lot of drama in Philly, you know, with the offensive line, Barkley, A.J. Brown, a lot of things going on there. So it's got a lot of interesting headlines. I'm actually looking forward to seeing how this game goes. Let's do a recap from last week in the NFL. You guys know how we do it on Thursday night. We do our full recap for Sunday and Monday. So we ended up going 5-7, plus 0.55 units. So we got saved pretty much with our anytime touchdown parlay, which I'll post up on the screen there for you. We made over 3 units on this one, which allowed us to have a winning week. So that was obviously big. We did terrible on our Sunday 1 to 4 p.m. Games. We had that parlay in there, but that really saved us. On our actual picks in those videos, we went 1-5. But like I said, we hit that parlay, so we're only down a unit. And then we closed out the week really well, going 2-1 on both Sunday night and Monday Night Football. So, all in all, honestly, I'll take it. After the way the results went, you know, Sunday midday, I was really discouraged after, you know, really thought that we had locked-in reads. We had the Miami Dolphins money line. They were up 17-0, blew that to the Panthers. So that was obviously pretty gross there. We had the under 41.5 points in the Titans-Cardinals game, and if you guys didn't see the end of that game, you guys will understand why I was so distraught about that. That under definitely should have hit, and that didn't either. And then our longest reception and longest rush props were a complete flop. We tried a different market, and I think I went 0-4 in those markets. So it was definitely just not the week as far as that goes. But like I said, we ended up plus units. So, like I said, it could be worse. I want to do much better than that, and we're going to. I think we're gonna get it rolling. We're getting more data. I'm honestly starting to feel better about stuff because we have more data to look at, and it should continue to get progressively better, is my hope. So, Comic Cappers had a pretty big week again here across the channel. Eric Me calling Xavier Worthy over 4.5 receptions. Grateful Floyd calling Travis Kelce 1+ first quarter catch. Justin McKelvey 2 callouts. Patrick Mahomes over 22.5 rushing yards. And the Patriots team total over 20.5. Love to see that. And then Lit Picks calling the Washington Commanders +3 and Jamar Chase over 63.5 receiving yards. So great job there from our Comic Cappers, guys. You guys absolutely killed it once again in the chat. Make sure you guys don't forget to drop your favorite play for this Giants-Eagles game down below in the comments. Put a star or an asterisk next to your pick, and we'll include your pick in our next video if it hits. Other than that, check out the pinned comment description. Any links you guys are looking for here around the channel. Consider becoming a channel member, guys. It's just $3.99 for the entire month. You get access to all of our picks and our plays early. We call them our straight fire MVPs. So consider doing that. Outside of that, let's get right into the picks today. Let's get a sweep here in the NFL. Let's get right into our picks. At number 1, we are rocking the under 41.5 points in the Eagles-Giants game. We got -125 odds here on Fanatics. So let me first say I bumped this up 1 point because I think the value is honestly pretty good. At 40.5, it's -115 on Fanatics. But if you go up to 41.5, it's -125, which I think is phenomenal value on what I deem as a critical point. I kept seeing the score 24-17 in my head, so that's why I'm like, I gotta bump this up 1 point just in case. But I think both offenses are going to struggle. For what it's worth, I still love it at 40.5. I just like it obviously more at 41.5. But I see both offenses here really continuing to struggle. This has been a season, particularly we could talk about the Eagles because we didn't expect the Giants to particularly light it up offensively this season. But the Eagles have really struggled running the ball. Just ask Saquon Barkley. He's had a really difficult time the last 3 weeks. And I think because he didn't run the ball, previous to last week, the previous 2 weeks, he didn't run the ball well at all. He averaged under 3 yards a carry. They only gave him 6 carries last week. So I think he'll get more carries, but I'm still not convinced he's out of the woods. There's a lot of problems up front here for the Eagles. Landon Dickerson, highly questionable to play this game. And when I say highly questionable, I mean he's probably not going to play. He's listed as questionable on the injury report as of right now, but I don't think he's going to play. He left last game with an ankle injury. They're projecting 1 to 2 weeks missed on him. So if that's the case, I don't expect him to play on a short week at all, and that would give them even more trouble up front. They haven't played particularly great up front this season. Particularly the run blocking has been absolute dog water. So despite the Giants being a bad run defense, if your guys aren't good up front, it's kind of like it's just a crapshoot up front. I still wouldn't expect Barkley to kill it. He might. Some people like his overs. I really don't. I would stay clear of Barkley's overs in this game. People are like, oh, this is a game he gets back on track. Well, they've been saying that for about 3-4 weeks now. This isn't a new development. He's averaging 3.2 yards per carry on the season. He had back-to-back weeks where he was under 3, where they gave him the ball like 19 times for 40-something yards. And I was like, geez, I've never seen him struggle to run it that bad. So right now, I don't trust him, obviously. They're still going to run the ball a lot, which is why I like the under so much, but there's not going to be any big explosive plays, I don't think, that we're used to seeing from Saquon. Until I see it, I'm gonna bet the under on it, honestly. So guys, unders are 4-1 so far in Giants games, 3-2 unders in Eagles games. So that's obviously very good. You combine that 7-3 unders for these two teams. So obviously, we'd like seeing that. And like I said, with the explosive plays, don't expect a lot of them. Both these teams rank near the bottom in the NFL in yards per play. Eagles at 29th, 4.4 yards per play, and the Giants at 25th, 4.9 yards per play. I would say that number is even worse now for the Giants without Malik Neighbors. Obviously, Malik Neighbors is like their big play wide receiver. Now you take him out of the equation too. The Giants are very, I would say, one-dimensional offensively as well now too. With the running game and just seeing what Dart could do. But, boy, last week the Giants turned the ball over on 5 consecutive possessions. So hopefully they don't do that, because that could kill an under, just because you could set a team up to score easily. So hopefully they don't do that. I don't think they will. I really do like the under today, though. Love it there for number 1 pick. We got under 41.5 points in the Eagles-Giants game, -125 odds here on Fanatics. Okay, and at number 2, we got Cam Scatterbo, over 49.5 rushing yards here for the New York Giants, -110 odds on BetMGM. So for Scatterbo, a lot of things I like here. He's been hitting his lines, which is important. He's 3 for his last 3 to this line, and that pretty much correlates with him being the starting back and getting the snaps now, which he is. So I really like that. He's 3 for 5 technically on the season, but he wasn't really getting the carries early on in the season, so I don't mind that. And the one game he missed where he still got a lot of carries, he had 45. That was the game before he went on this 3-game streak. So obviously, coming off the week they had versus the Saints where they turned the ball over 5 times, Dart was responsible for a bunch of those. Dart threw a couple picks. He fumbled. They're going to want to get this running game going and keep the ball kind of limited out of his hands a little bit, because he is a rookie, right? Definitely prone to making mistakes. There's no real shocker there, but a good friend for a rookie quarterback is obviously a solid run game and a running back in general that can give him some easy opportunities. So I think Scatterbo is going to be able to do that. He's a very tough physical runner. So even if we don't get great blocking up front, this guy always gets the extra yard. He's just a very physical running back. And the Eagles' run defense isn't very good either, just like the Giants. Eagles are 23rd versus the run this season. We cashed versus them last week with J.K. Dobbins. So I really like the matchup again here for Scatterbo. Both defenses, like I said, really having trouble stopping the run. Eagles allowing 4.7 yards per carry. So I think Scatterbo could get the tough yards that we need. I think he's a guy that could, he gets that extra yard, and I'm expecting him to get a lot of carries. Like I said, I don't think the Eagles will run away with this game, so I don't see the Giants abandoning the run or having to. Obviously, the spread's set to 7.5, but I would take the Giants on the spread. I was torn between that and the under. I like both plays, but I particularly like the under. Obviously, I just feel like it's a little safer because I don't really want to put too much trust in the Giants' offense in general. But like I said, after all those turnovers last week, expect a lot of Scatterbo. Hand that ball off, get Scatterbo's yards, and then we could talk later. So, love it there, guys, for our number 2 pick. We got Cam Scatterbo, over 49.5 rushing yards here for the New York Giants, minus 110 odds here on BetMGM. Okay, and finally at number 3, we're going Devontae Smith, over 48.5 receiving yards here for the Philadelphia Eagles. We're going minus 112 odds here on DraftKings. So guys, Smith so far 3 for 5 this season in this line. 3 for his last 4, coming off of a season high of 114 last week. So we love seeing that. He's 5 of his last 6 games versus the New York Giants to this line. Giants 28th this season in long reception DVP, so they give up some big plays in the pass game, or at least they can. Giants 31st in receiving yards allowed to wide receivers as well, so it's obviously not very good. Notable wide receiver lines versus the New York Giants. Olave, 59. Raheem Shaheed, 114. Quentin Johnston, 98. Tyquan Thornton, 71. Juju, 55. Lamb, 112. Tolbert, 16. Turpin, 47. Pickens, 68. All these guys cashed on lines. That was my point there. While I mentioned I don't see there being a lot of big plays in this game, I don't. But Smith's the guy that if there was going to be 1 or 2 in the game, I would take probably Devontae Smith to be the guy. And I think even if he doesn't get huge plays, he can get a couple close to 20-yard catches to get us the yards that we need here on him. Like I said, I think points and yards will be somewhat at a premium in this game, but I think in the right spots. Like I said, Smith has had success versus the Giants. He's been the guy that hasn't been complaining too much. I haven't heard his name. We've obviously heard A.J. Brown, but Smith is the guy that's kind of, you think of him as being secondary, but he's still very, very good. And his line is relatively low. So the 2 guys that we took, guys, we need 50 yards from. We don't need 100. We just need them to have decent games, which I think they can. I think a lot of things can be true today. And under, Smith over, and a Scatterbo over, it's very, very doable. And like I said, there still could be a couple of big plays in this game. That's still okay. I just don't think it'll be crazy, especially on the running game with the Eagles. Everyone's expecting Barkley to go nuts and his return back to New York again. It's just not the same situation. Like I said, the offensive line just isn't doing it right now. So until they start doing it, I'm not going to take him to go over in yards. So love it there, guys, for number 3 pick. We got Devontae Smith over 48.5 receiving yards here for the Philadelphia Eagles, minus 112 odds on DraftKings. All right, guys, then our same game parlay does pack a lot of value and also offers us a little bit of what I would call insurance of a sort, just in terms of, we're looking for receptions and touchdowns in this parlay. So, if the over hits, maybe we hit this parlay. Who knows? But Jaxson Dart, anytime touchdown. It kind of goes with what we were talking about earlier, right? I don't think the Giants are going to want to put the ball in the air a ton. I don't see that being as much a thing. He's got a touchdown so far in one of his 2 starts. His first one there versus the Chargers. He's had logs of 7 and 10 rush attempts, so he's been taken off a lot. His rushing line is 35.5. So he's going to have some opportunities, I think, to sniff the end zone. And I think given the situation with no Malik Neighbors, the turnover situation from last week, they're going to look for some run plays with Scatterbo and Dart. And I could see Dart taking a read option and taking it in the end zone if they can get it inside the 5. I think it'd be a great setup for Jaxson Dart to run it in. So, and it packs a lot of value. He's like plus 350 for his touchdown. Scatterbo, 2+ receptions. He's done this in all 5 games this season. He's had 6+ receptions in 2 of the last 3 weeks. Again, it's just like what we were talking about. Get the ball to Scatterbo. Don't try to do too much. Running and receiving, I like Scatterbo to have a big game for sure. Barkley, 2+ receptions, 5 for 5 this season. Giants 18th DVP in receptions allowed to running back. So he's always a guy that's usually good for a couple catches. And like I said, it packs decent value for him just to get 2 receptions. And then Dallas Goedert, anytime touchdown. He's got a touchdown in 3 or 4 games this season. He's really the red zone target. The Eagles have had a lot of trouble up front, but he's still got enough time for a guy like Goddard, because Goddard's routes are normally pretty short. When they get in the red zone, he's definitely a guy they're looking for. Big body target, and I think he can get another one here. And like I said, it packs a lot of value. It's like plus 240 for his touchdown. So it's really why I like these touchdown scores. We have the ability to make some real money here. Putting a tenth of a unit on this guy is to make over 3.5 units. All right, guys, that is it for our picks. As always, if you guys enjoyed the content, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button for me. Always appreciate that on the road to 10,000 subscribers. Appreciate all of your guys' support as always. Let's get this week 6 in the NFL off to a good start and really start building momentum. So we've had back-to-back videos, back-to-back winning videos, Sunday night, Monday night. And like I said, we did hit that parlay as well in the previous one. So we're starting to get things turning out a little bit. Obviously, that Sunday 1 and 4 o'clock special really hurt me because I thought we had a lot of great looks. And when I looked through all the numbers, I didn't even mention Danny Jones, guys. He fell 10 yards short on his passing line for us. And it was just so far out of hand, they weren't going to throw the ball again. He had like 215 yards at the end of the third quarter. And I was like, it was 40-6. I mean, come on. I can't project the Raiders to not be any type of competitive. Like, I can't say the Raiders are going to lose by 5 touchdowns and, there's no chance of the ball being thrown again. To give you an idea, like, it could still be a blowout and him still make a completed pass in the fourth quarter. It could be a 21-point game and he still might throw. But at 34, it's like, come on, bro. What are the Raiders doing? So that's my vent, guys. And like I said, we're going to have a good week this week. We're going to have a really good week. When I do our recap next Thursday, we're going to be saying like plus 100 units. Probably more like, hopefully like plus 10. I don't think we're going to have 100 units of risk, but we'll see. As always, guys, appreciate y'all. Have a great rest of your week. And we'll see you back here for our next video. Make sure you guys check out all of our NFL content. We have our NFL spreads and totals video live. That's pinned here at the end of this video, so make sure you guys give that a watch as well. Other than that, have a great rest of your day, and we'll catch you next time. Peace out.